Tanya, my colleague, is here, and absolutely. And Vida, over to you, my lovely.
Okay. Well, we've all been rushing around. It's a bit late in the day. So before we start, I'd like us just to close our eyes and notice our breath. And we're going to take 3 breaths in. And when you breathe out, twice as long, okay? And what that does, it helps to bring you back into your body. And it's really very important. So as long as you feel safe to do so as well, please close your eyes. Again. And still with your eyes closed, just notice your breath. Notice as you breathe in the temperature and as you breathe out the temperature. And just notice your chest moving up and down in your tummy. And now, still looking down, your eyes closed, but I want you to gently open your eyes and then reorientate back into the room. Okay? So we're back in the room now. And I'm going to put the slides up. So can you see the slides?
No.
Not yet, Vida.
Okay, I think you will have got to, maybe Tanya needs to do something on her end because I've shared the screen.
No, it's all done.
Oh, really? So why isn't it happening?
So have you clicked on the presentation and then press screen share, Vida?
Yes, I did that before. Let me
Okay.
do it again.
Allow screen share at the
Okay.
bottom of your screen?
Yes, I've done.
Oh.
Yeah, you can see it now.
Okay.
Yes, we can see it now. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Relationships. They're rather tender and they're very wide, as we all know. And I've got a slightly different angle on things. And it's very important for us to accept that if all that we've been doing over the years and so on, if we do what we always do, we'll get the same results that we've always gotten. So it's really good to step back and ask yourself the question, why shall I continue in this mode? And it's good to ask questions, especially good, sensible questions, because they are the steering wheel of the mind. So as you step back, think, I'm going to look at this from a different perspective, or get some guidance or whatever from a different perspective, because as I said, if we do what we always do, we will always get the same result. And relationships is the way in which 2 or more people or things are connected. The state of being connected by blood or the way 2 or more people or groups regard and behave. And then we have the one that's most delicate to us, many of us, emotional and sexual association between 2 people. And everything in life is a relationship. And as Shelley said, when I remembered when I did it with my mentor, and he said, we start with relationship with the self. And what he did then, he said, sometimes what we're doing, we're looking for someone else to make us a whole. But that does not work. We've got to be whole first. And when we are whole and we understand ourselves and we understand what it is to be loved, and then we have a better idea of what to expect. So that's where we're coming from. And 2 people can have the same background, such as an abusive or divorce, and still come out in very different models of the world, because we are all individuals and we have a different approach. We're unique. And sometimes we assume that people with the same background will necessarily relate better. but it all comes down to each of us as individuals. We all have our own values and beliefs, and we are each of us unique. And if there are challenges, what we do is we go and get a new approach, a different approach. And the background is simply what we brought us to be together. The choices we make is what determines everything. And if you think about it, that is so true. And those choices as far are more governed by the level of consciousness we are at, more than anything else. Because if we are in a poor state of mind or a very negative zone, we will clash. Whereas if we're able to step back and see it from a different perspective, even in the moment, it really helps. And in order to grow, people will specifically be sent to you by the instructors in Earth School, because that is where we are now, to push your buttons in places where you didn't know you had buttons to push. I remember once my elder daughter saying to me, "Oh, Mum, I know which buttons to push with you." And I thought, oh, okay, cheeky sausage. But it is true. They get to know you, and sometimes, many a time, they know exactly how to irritate you. But at the same time, you can also know how to bring the best out of a person. And don't judge a person by their behavior. We have all done things we are not proud of. You don't know what is driving them to behave the way they are. And this as well is quite a big issue. And here again, stepping back and not judging, because when we judge somebody, you lose all ability then to influence them, and you lose all ability to learn from them, because anything in life as well is a learning. Life is a journey, and it's really a learning as you go. And sometimes I have found myself where I've thought, well, I've learned enough. My sister, when I said that to her, she's younger than me, and she said, I've got a secret to share with you, Vida. You're going to continue learning right up until the very end. And I've come to see that she was quite right. Always look for the gifts and the essence in yourself as well as others. And let go of blame and take responsibility. You are responsible for how you think, feel, act. And that as well can be a really bitter pill, because you're expecting the other to be, what your expectations are, and it doesn't quite work like that. Now, happiness is a choice, not a result. Nothing will make you happy until you choose to be happy. Sometimes when you're in a negative zone, you really can't manage to think, oh, I want to get out of this. I want to feel happy. Little things we can do to help ourselves: put on some music and just move yourself, or just change from the space you're in. Or something I've learned as well, put on a comedy, start laughing, or even start laughing at yourself. Or wherever it's happened, move away from that zone. And what you do, just changing your environment in that moment as well, gives you the energy to see things from a different perspective. And don't rely on others to make you happy unless you decide to be happy. Your happiness will not come to you. It can only come from you. It's all an inside job. We have to be responsible. We are responsible for ourselves. And the biggest difference between money and time, you always know how much money you have, but you never know how much time you have. So use the time positively to energize yourself. Look after number one. And when we are in a good state, we radiate that out into the world. And it's not as difficult or as easy as we think. But you know what? What do we have to do? We choose how we want to be. And I have a strap line: I choose to, I am worthy. And the worthiness is important. because the present moment is all that we have. And when we make it good for us, we are also generating that into the environment, as I just said. And no one is responsible for your emotional reactions except you. Others can say and so anything they like, but what happens inside you is the result of what you are thinking and feeling. So be responsible and choose it. Choose how you want to be and radiate that. And this is so, an event is just an event. The meaning of or significance of an event or circumstance can only be based on what we choose to give it. And this almost always is influenced by our relationship to the event. Zig Ziglar said, your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude. And that is, if you sort of think about those words, you can really see the essence in that. Now, this one has been a very challenging one for me when I came across it. The past is a real time collection of a previous event that is constructed by our brain and imagination, filling in most of the blanks, all principally based on our relationship to the event, not the event itself. And fundamentally what that is the story that we have about the event. And the more we carry on and we go and the story becomes convoluted. And then the actual fact of what happened just gets out of proportion, and it creates an impact, a negative impact in most cases. And when you're humble, nothing can touch you, neither praise nor disgrace, because you know who you are. You know how you want to be in any relationship. And remember, it's a relationship with yourself, with your sister, with your partner, and so on and so forth. And this is something that I came across as well about true love. It does not just choose for one person. When true love is there, you shine like a lamp. You don't just shine on one person in the room. That light you can emit is for everyone in the room. If you really have love in you, everyone around you will profit. Not only humans, just think about this, the animals, the plants and minerals. Love, true love is that. True love is equanimity. Now, if you think about that as well, sometimes if you think about a smile, when you smile, it lights you up. And sometimes someone is not in a very good place as well, and it can light that person up. And you can have a negative reproach as such, but it helps. It does help to sort of just be creating an environment where you feel comfortable and the other feel comfortable as well. You can be strong, but not rude, be kind, but not weak, be humble, but not shy, be proud, but not arrogant. And this is really with more personal relationships with our spouse or a partner, for instance. Many years ago, my younger daughter said to me, Mum, you know, when Dad is cross, sometimes just leave the room. And I thought to myself, that's rude. You know, and I thought maybe because she's young, she's seeing it like that. But I thought I'd practice it. And I've been married for, I think, 47 years, so I haven't done too badly. And the first time I decided to take her suggestion, I listened to my husband go off at a tangent. And then I just said to him, you know what? I think I'm going to leave the room. And I'm not being rude, but I'm leaving the room now. And afterwards, I just laughed at myself because I couldn't bring myself just to walk out, because I thought that would give the wrong impression and it will not help the situation. And it worked. So you can always try that. People with purpose, goals, and visions have no time for drama. They invest their energy in creativity and focus on living a positive life. And that is what it comes down to in the end. Phrases that you can put into your life which will soften and any harshness and increase the glow. The universe has my back and a solid plan for me. Go with the flow. And I love this particular one. The universe has my back and a solid plan for me, and I'll go with the flow. And the second one is, it will be this or something better. Something positively amazing is unfolding for me right now. That one, I am still not 100% at ease with it, but I thought I'd share it in any case. And what happens in life is that we'll keep meeting the same people in different bodies until we learn the lessons. And to learn the lesson, we must strengthen ourselves, our resolve, in order to gain the benefit of everything. And what I'm going to share with you now is very delicate, and I hope it does not really upset anyone, please. I came across this, and when I saw it the first time, it really impacted me because I thought it was too harsh. But the more I looked at it and I read it, I saw the essence in this. So there was a snake that crawled over a sharp saw and was cut. In anger, the snake wrapped the saw with its thick body and proceeded to squeeze the life out of the saw. With each angry squeeze, it felt more pain, but continued because it wasn't going to let the saw get away with what it caused. The snake, refusing to let go of the saw, eventually died. Not knowing the whole time, he had to let go of the initial pain and focus on its future and where it was going. Now, if you think about these words before I show you the picture, in which with our relationships, we can allow this to happen and it's not comfortable. And here comes the picture. Take a deep breath. So we control our anger. We forgive those that hurt us. Don't give people or things power over you, because it can ultimately kill you or the relationship. Here it was with can you see what I mean about this picture? Is harsh, but I really think, and I've shared it many a time, it really brings home the story of holding on to a quarrel with a sister or with a brother or partner or whatever. Trying to work things out is always the better option. And forgiveness is the road to action and freedom. I love this. And because when we forgive, we think we are forgiving, we're being grand or whatever. But if we think about that as well, the other person goes on their merry way. But we are the ones who carry all of that heaviness in us. So it's better to learn to move away and move on, forgive, and that deal with it the way you see best. The universe is not pushing you or blessing you with karma. The universe is responding to the vibrational energy you are sending out. So be mindful of what you bring into existence. So keep your thoughts as positive as possible. Discuss things, choose the moment, and don't let the ego is something that really, really causes us lots of challenges. And look, I've put a picture here because I thought after that picture, this would be so nice because it's a heart with all the beautiful stones and everything. I love that particular one. I love the colors in it as well. And for those of you who have heard me before, you will remember this, and I'm going to own it. I'm going to say, I am the most powerful creator of my world. With my thoughts, my words, my heart, my actions, and my prayers. I create with love. I live in peace. I share my light. And this is by a lady called Julie Parker. And it comes back again to owning things. And I love this particular one here as well. This tree fell and it refused to give up. And if you look at the picture, it's created more trees out of it. So don't quit. Keep moving. Keep finding a way. If the relationship is working, fantastic. If it isn't working, you know then that you need to find somewhere where you can go and discuss it and work out the value as if you stay in it or if not. And that this is not just for a marriage and so on. It's for any type of relationship. You have to be bold and strong and decide how you're going to deal with it. What does love mean to me? What does this other person? Can we talk about things? Be it sister, brother, partner, friends, anybody. Because I am the catalyst. It begins with me. We choose how we handle things. And that's it. That is the last slide that I've got. I want to open it up for discussion because I know we all have different stories, but let us not go into any deep story. Let us sort of just keep it as short as possible, but for it to mean something. So who has a question? Who would like to go first?
Vida, may I ask you if you could stop screen sharing, then we can see everybody on screen to see who.
Okie dokie.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So would anyone like to answer? Faye?
Oh, no, not yet.
Okay, I saw you moving on. Would
Thanks.
anyone like to add anything to what Vida said or answer any questions? Was that you, Pauline?
Yes,
Go ahead,
I
my
had a
love.
bit of problem logging on as usual.
That's okay. Did you have any questions or comments for Vida on what she's just done?
No, I agree to a lot of the bits that she's shown us so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you agree with a lot. What
Yes.
do you not agree with?
Oh, well, I don't know. Wasn't in for the beginning of the
Okay.
discussion. I only saw the slots that you put up,
Okay.
and I felt it's quite good.
Okay.
But I do quite a lot of affirmation on a daily basis.
Beautiful.
So I really don't let things bring me down.
That-
And I'm the healer of myself. I
Bravo.
can't expect someone else to do that for me. So I do quite a lot of affirmation and prayers
Good.
on
And
a
do
daily
you,
basis.
and at night as well, before we settle down to sleep.
Yes, I do that as well.
Yes, and be grateful for your day, for the things that you have, all the positive things. Focus on what is positive. They
Yeah.
say, it is said by these learned people in neuroscience, that
Mhm.
you sleep better and you wake up in a better frame of mind as well.
Yes.
So that's very good. You keep on with your affirmations and see if
Thank
you can
you.
find new others that you can use effectively.
Yeah.
Anybody else, please come on.
Yes, can I
Please.
can I state something? My thing is the forgiveness and the moving on. I tend to hold on to stuff.
Okay.
And from experience, it's done me no good, but I
Okay.
still continue to do it.
Okay.
So yes, so that would
That's
be
a very
my,
common problem.
yeah. So
And
yeah.
what you can do in cases like this is when you feel yourself beginning to think about it,
Mhm.
you say to yourself, no, and this, it works, okay? It all comes from neuroscience. You have to choose to be the one in charge. You say no.
Mhm.
And you see the breathing exercise we did at the beginning? Or if you're standing or sitting, just close your eyes and let yourself drop back into your body. Feel your, if you're sitting or standing, feel your feet going into Mother Earth. And just notice your breathing or listen for a sound that's far away. And then bring your hearing to something that's closer. And what that does, after a while, those the neurons that are keeping you into that negative thought, but you have to be a little bit persistent. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. So it takes a little bit of practice. And those negative neurons, they'll fall away because you've taken charge and you're telling your brain, hey, you know what? I've been there. I've done that. Now I am choosing the way I am going now. And after doing that, you will see that it will become automatic. But I'm not saying that it'll happen today for tomorrow. The more you do it, sooner or later, it's our subconscious mind. It's 95% of our thinking. And it is doable. So is it Fiona? Have a go. And perhaps sometime in the future, let us know how you get on. And don't give up. As soon as you feel those negative, you say to yourself, okay, how are you serving me? What are you doing for me? Except, keeping me in a place where I'm not comfortable. And just put that into practice. Okay?
Hi.
Hello.
My name's Essa.
Hello, Isa.
I find I'm quite good at humbling myself and clearing my mind. I find it hard with consistent. I'm also very helpful to a lot of people, and I find it hard when it's more closer to home, dealing with rage or anger or my children fighting against each other, and I'm trying to calm them, and sometimes that creates anger in me. I mean, obviously I breathe and then I deal with them, but when I'm trying to just be that consistent sort of humble person, and then comes my teenager fighting with my 9-year-old, arguing and just throwing bad energy at each other, and that just makes me feel angry inside. So it just messes up my focus or me just trying to keep myself calm. How do we deal with situations like that? I know it's life, but these times and where everybody is trying to be sort of like a consistent good flow, how do we try to just still feel calm in the adversities of life?
Okay. Well, life is a journey, and it's a learning curve. And it's something that many of us experience. So don't be hard on yourself. It is, especially with teenagers, because children these days, they are a little bit, my children are 40-something years old. So I've maybe forgotten what it's like firsthand, but I do still have my memories. What is essential for you to do is when you feel yourself as well getting in that frame of mind, it is to drop back into your body. And don't say try. The words, don't say, you try. I want to, because the language is also very important. I want to find myself in a better place. And again, stepping away, if you can step away from your teenager and the 9-year-old, and gather yourself together by you being calm or calming, that will radiate out to them as well. And in an opportune moment as well, if it's possible, or if you can make it possible, to sit and have a chat with them. And, if they're cross for something, if they can write out what it is that's troubling them as well, get it out. When we hold things inside of us, it just compounds, it gets bigger. And that's something that's good for you to do as well.
Open up.
Right?
I can get them to open up and speak their truth and, tell, me or each other how they feel. I can get all of that to happen. I'm saying, day-to-day life with the council, with living, with work, with loads of everything, those things bother me, but they don't affect me as much as my children, my loved ones. This is like, do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I can get them to open up, and I can get them to, like I say, speak their truth and, speak with each other. But the effects that it has on me temporarily, not consistently, in those times, I want to always be in my chi, always be in my flow. And, you know, where you say you have to have a clean mind or try to just think clearly, they affect me more than anyone else, and is just a bit hard. That's what I'm saying. So where you're saying trying to have that consistent flow, is a bit hard to do that. Society and the council and everything outside is already kind of enduring. It's already a lot. But like I say, I can calm myself, and with help from loads of, you know, companies and organizations, including this one, you know, it's been good for me. But the one that gets me a bit enraged inside, that actually affects me more than anything, is my babies. You know?
That's indicative of that love that you have for them.
Yeah.
Also, again, you have love for yourself.
Yeah.
And when you're in that frame as well, take pen and paper and write it out.
Yeah.
That is a really, really major way to help yourself. And because when you read what you've written, after a while, you're going to be amazed by what you wrote in the moment. And that love that you have, well done. And those moments, though, have a chat with it. How are you serving me? This is not really the way this love that I have, it's not really the way I am hoping, I'm wanting it more than anything else. And it is really important for you always to center yourself in those moments. And the breathing is something that brings you back. The breath is just, and when you do the breathing as well, breathe in deeply. And when you hold it for 2 seconds, if you can, when you breathe out, pulse your lips as if you're blowing through a straw, and breathe out twice as long.
Yeah.
And that really helps to, and you know what you're wanting to achieve. Write down as well what you're wanting to achieve. And when you feel yourself overcoming these obstacles, congratulate yourself. And havering is something, if you as well in those moments, cross your arms. Can you see the way I've got my arms crossed?
Yeah.
And just gently stroke down. And then do it again, about 4, 5, 6 times. It is really, really very calming, reminding yourself that you love yourself as well. You are worthy to be loved. And it just calms the whole spirit.
Okay.
It's true.
Try that and find somehow to let me know how you get on, okay?
Well,
but you're doing a fantastic job, because look at how much your little ones, they're not that little, but how much they mean to you.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vida. That explanation is absolutely beautiful. Lorna, will come to you next. I just wanted to say as well, Essa, that sometimes it's accepting that they're children, and to be honest, they're here to challenge us for a while before they grow up. So it's accepting that point in them, and like Vida mentioned, taking a deep breath and conscious of that breath. So that you can think, you're within yourself, that you can think, and also just being honest and saying to them, look, it disappoints mommy when you do that.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so and it's that is repetitive. Sorry, whoever is talking, please mute yourself. Once you keep doing that, it's teaching them healthy kind of relationship and boundaries eventually. And once they're mature enough and they understand, I'm sure they'll be loving brothers and sisters towards each other. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
If I may just add, as I think I did say it, but as you do that as well, they will sense you getting calm, and it is an intuitive share.
Yeah.
Thank you
and
so
that
much.
will make you very happy. Your soul will sing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Lorna, over to you now.
Hello, Lorna.
Hi, everyone. How are you all? Thank you for your presentation. I wanted just to, because I practice affirmations, I actually can relate to what somebody said about forgiveness, because people say it's easy to forgive, but it's not easy to forget. So that's not even part of that's you're not really forgiving. And that's what many people, and I'm just talking about myself, sometimes you think you're forgiven, but you get re-triggered, I call it, yes?
Yes.
In terms of, and sometimes you don't know why you find it hard to forgive. And sometimes you have to go back to a deeper, do some deeper inner work, I call it, yes?
Yes.
So, and the deeper inner work is I call it finding my inner child. So, and that inner child work is very important because you have to find your authentic self and realize that, I'm an old woman now, but finding out that even though my journey has its successes and I've been, moving forward in my life, there's been a lot of things in my childhood and in my family relationships. And I think that's what this lady is also alluding to in a way as well, that family can be the hardest people to deal with when it comes to emotions. Yes, because of the emotional connection and the way in which, and I talk about the thing about attachment as well. So to me, there's attachment issues, but also expectation issues.
Yes.
And I think that is the thing that I've come across for myself, that in relationships, we expect that person to solve our issues. We expect a lot from that person because we feel that we're giving, and then the other person is not necessarily reciprocating that. Yes. So for me, because I know this inner work is really important to get to a place where you're interdependent in a relationship rather than dependent, right? Yes. And I think about doing this work. You talked about the journaling, affirmations, which are great, breathing, stepping out into nature, which is very good, important. Put your feet on, on the grass, and grounding, they call it as well.
Wow. Yes. Very good. Very good.
Yes, grounding as well. So I'm doing the work.
Yes.
I'm doing the work. And meditation is also very important, but these last for a particular time sometimes, and you go back to your low moments. Yes. And it's getting yourself out of those low moments, because doing inner work is very lonely, right? And you have to make yourself uncomfortable to be comfortable. Yes. And I say, and I've gone through this process within a sisterhood circle during lockdown. So it was very important for me. And you feel very disconnected to people. So what I have to take accountability, as you said, for my own self. Yes. And you have to sometimes in other words, work on self rather than work on others, right? Because that's really important. But if you're working on yourself and you're trying to work out these things, but you are finding, and this is what happens, that you find the same partner that's actually triggering you from your past or your family relationship. So, for example, you may have a dad, and I'm not saying it's myself, but you have certain traits in your father that you're looking for in that person, right? Just looking at it that way. But you're finding the wrong person because you're re-triggering yourself, because you're inactualizing the same trauma that you've gone through before. Yes. How do you break that cycle? I know that the work that we do, and you talked about those things, are very important, but sometimes they last for a bit, and you do have I call it drop in the ocean moments, I call it. And that's really important. To come from those moments, and be able to do that. So just answering that. And it's a long question, so sorry about that.
No, don't you worry. At least you've painted I get where you're coming from. I'll start by saying expectations and assumptions, they do not serve us at all, because that is how we fall down. And it's the same with forgiveness. Why am I forgiving? Am I really doing it from a deeper place, my values and my beliefs? If I forgive, and I know it's not to forget sometimes, but we really do strengthen ourselves to walk away from it. And That's the only choice that we have. Because if we don't, now you saw the slide with that snake, yes?
Mhm.
Okay, so
That's
that
the
is what I
one.
find so powerful about that. So
Mm.
we say to ourselves, okay, so if I continue in this loop, is it serving me? What am I getting? What is the positive out of this? And then the person or persons that you are hoping to forgive, just look at them at times. They go along in their merry way, but you are there with that churning inside of you. And that is not good for your cortisol level and all of these hormones in your system.
Mm.
So you just say boldly, you're not serving me.
Mm.
You know what? I have made the decision. I am moving on. And I admire the way you know about many of these things. You walk out at Mother Earth, barefooted if you can, hug a tree, have a chat, just chat it out as well, write it out. Because it's only those that there is not a miracle pill or anything to solve these problems. It is for us to look at it, the problems from a deeper level, and just make that decision. The power lies within us. It
Yeah.
comes from inside out. And if it's something, if it's a person and it keeps repeating, perhaps you need to create a bit of space as well between you and the person or persons.
Yeah.
And as they say, time is a great healer. So that as well is something, and you know, just that havering that I showed before, these are the sort of the simpler things that you can do to really calm yourself. And there are other things you can do as well by locating where that negative feeling is inside of you and really acknowledging it. Pinpoint exactly where it is, see it as the color, the shape, and so on. And then you have to let it out of you. That is another way to sort of heal those type of deep negative things that we've got within our body. So I don't know if that helps.
Yes, I think so.
You decide, you make the decision, write it out. I am deciding today that I have been working with this. It's been a hard task, but now I am doing this. I choose to. I am the catalyst. And that is the way to do it.
Mm.
Yes, thank you.
I endorse that.
I'm aware that there's 5 minutes remaining for today's session. So if you have any final quick questions or comments to give to Vida, now is the right time to do so.
Thank you, Vida.
Hello,
Thank you.
Mrs. Adrian. I just joined in. I was just having something to eat, so I just listened to this comment.
Hello.
I feel like there's a loop always in my life, over and over and over.
Sorry, I missed what you said before, over and over.
Yeah, my life is over and over and over.
Okay.
Mm.
And do you have a question? Is there anything specific?
I don't think anyone will understand it. It's far more deeper.
Okay.
Thank you, Vida. I found your comments really helpful. Really helpful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
There's no help for anything at all. No.
Adrian, sorry. Adrian, sorry to interrupt you there. We did speak earlier about further support for you, so do bear with us and we will give you a call. And there is always